I know deep inside of ourselves, me, you, and everyone included here, we usually have this urge of helping our brothers and sisters, helping our parents, sometimes even our, extended family members, or even our neighbors. So the point is, on this video, I'm gonna share with you, how can you exactly support your family members financially and you don't go broke? By the way, here, have you ever seen somebody who embarked on helping the family members financially and they themselves they went broke? And guess what? They went back to that basket of need being help. That is him and or her and the rest of the family members. Now, I know there is always this question that people ask themselves: how can I be of help to my family members? I support them financially, but I myself, I don't actually go broke. Now, that is the video that you've been looking for. It is exactly this one. All what you need to do, sit back, relax, and make sure that you hit three buttons. Number one, hit the subscription button. Why? So that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new good video on YouTube. Two, make sure that you like the video. By the way, it doesn't cost you anything. And last, on the comment section, make sure that you hit a comment or leave me a comment. Tell me where you're watching me from and did you get value out of this video. All right, this is Good Joseph speaking, in case you're watching me for the first time. Let's get to the business now. The point number one that you're supposed to do, okay, as far as the helping your members, our family members is concerned on financially, quantify the need needed. Quantify the need needed. Let me explain my point, okay? I usually come across the clients who call me and tell me, Joseph, I would like us to have a financial talk and blah, blah, blah. Things are not going okay. And I ask them, okay, fine. Let's have a look of how your thing looks like, okay? How much goes for the rent? How much goes for this? How much goes for no. And then we reach to that particular point where we say black tax. Black tax is that situationship where you need to support your family members. Now, it's called black tax, that money that you send them, okay? And I ask them, okay, how much is the black tax? They're like, I think we should say, I should, no, that's wrong. That's wrong, and that maybe you might have been having this bad blood. You feel like they're taking a lot of money because you're never quantified how much they usually take. All right, maybe they're taking 1,000 or two or something. But but when they ask you in terms of 100, hey, give me 100, give me 200. No. You've never actually sat down and tried to calculate how much goes to them. So what I say, quantify the need needed, simply means that try to understand how much do I send to them. And that's what I always tell people. There are two situations where you can help your family members. One is where we generally help them because they are our family members and obviously they need help. We ought to help them. You get what I'm saying? They're not so deserving. They're not even asking you, but you're helping them. Or maybe they're asking you, but there is an option of not, because they're not that badly off. But anyway, after all, you are the brother, you are the sister, you are the whoever you are. So you get what I'm saying? No, there is that situation. There is a shakeable situation. There is that situation that you can shake it off or quote unquote ignore it. And then there is option two, whereby you find maybe probably maybe you guys, you're orphans, or maybe the kind of the situation back at home is that option. You don't have an option of shaking them up. I mean, you're the last option. If you're not there, then it's a crisis. Okay, for example, I had a situation whereby I had a client who had a brother in school, actually two of them. One was in campus in Kenya, we mean like university or college, whatever. Now the other guy was actually in high school. These guys were living by themselves, the parents were not there, and the guy was like, you know what, Joseph, yeah, this guy, I cannot ignore them. They eat me, they eat me, they drink me, they dress me, they leave me, and everything is about me. So such kind of a situation, no matter how I tell you guys stay put, I mean, you cannot tell them, you know what, go ahead and ignore. You can't ignore them. So those are unshakable situations. But in regard or disregard or regardless, make sure that at least you quantify, so that at least whenever do you see the usually you're usually at pace with that what they got from for the taxes. When you look at your paycheck, and then you're like, there is a payee, there is housing project, especially if you're in Kenya, or there is health insurance, there is all those deductions. You're already at peace with it because you already know how much is it. I'm, my gross salary is 100K, but out of that 25,000 goes for those payments. So you are at peace with 25,000. It's gone. So also quantify the amount of money you needed for the black tax. So once you quantify that, you know what, 10 G's goes for them, 10,000 goes for them. So you'll be like, guess what, you reprogram yourself. 25 goes for the government, that from 100 down, I'm at 75, 10 goes for my family members, so I'm remaining at 65. So how then do I plan myself from 65 and what have you? And this is what I always tell people. If you know this is what they take 10,000, let them know. You know what? If you consume that money, please don't call me again. You have to wait until next month, okay? You reprogram yourself like that and be like, you know what? This is the 10,000 for them. No matter how fast they consume it within a week, done. They wait the next one. They until the next month. They consume it with it. And also, as you help them, please, but I'm going to share that on the second point, okay? But make sure that at least you quantify that particular amount of money that you're sending them, and you're making sure that at least you have a track record, so that by the way, I saw some, I don't know whether this may sound rude or tough or rash or rough or whatever. I saw somebody who was noting down everything that he's sending back to the family. He could have it in an Excel sheet or maybe in a written form, whichever the method that you find it appropriate. The moment he sent money, he puts in record, and then he sent back that Excel sheet to them. You know what, God, guys, you have a look of how much I've sent you guys. So ask yourself, what have you done with that amount of money? It's so intimidating when you see, oh my goodness, our brother who is in America, sent back home close to 1 million shilling to all of us. What did we do? I received this, I did, and then he had a distribution of, my brother received this, my sister received this, my parents received, and then he sent everybody. So everybody knows everybody what goes to where. That may actually cause crisis after you see your brother received more than you did, but it is what it is. But at least you're trying to evoke them and tell them, I spend all this cash to you guys. What did you do? Did you just start a business and what have you? Okay. The second point is usually to what we call focus on transition. What do I mean? Transition from the need. All right. Transition from being a need. Okay. Transition from need, them being in need of you, to actually creating what we call independence. Okay. Create an independence mindset on something of sort. Yeah, okay. For now, I always tell people there is these stages that people usually goes, okay? There is the first step of what we call helping them, because they need, maybe they don't have any, what do you call, they cannot stand by themselves. So once you help them to stand by themselves, in the process of helping them, focus on what we call transition from helping them to creating an independence mindset and what have you. Okay, in short, people call it empower them. Empower them to a point where, because you'll never satisfy a human need. Even your needs cannot be satisfied. By the way, if I ask a question, if you were to be helped, to what extent would you love to be helped? How much would you need to be helped with? You cannot have that specific figure. So also understand one thing, these guys will never manage to help them forever and ever. So in the process of helping them, okay, make sure that at least you educate them. If it's about finances, tell them to go watch Good Joseph. Tell them how much they can do with 100 shilling, 300, 4,000, whatever the amount of money. Try to empower them. Give them that financial, understanding. And if you're doing something that you can be able to share with them so that at least they can be able to generate something, also share with them. Tell them, hey, you know what, guys, hey, you can do this as well. You can do all those kind of things, okay? So focus on transition from helping them to also supporting them in the sense of actually making them independent. And also, because listen, if it is possible that you can, not everyone can be empowered, by the way, for your information. When I say empower them and then make sure that you make them independent, I actually have these calls from guys and they tell me, you know what, Joseph, I tried to empower my brothers and sisters back at home. I'm telling you the amount of money I lost. Those guys, I started a business, they squandered everything. They cannot start a business, they can't do nothing. Others, they tell you know what, Joseph, I tried to ask them what business can they start. They don't want, they just want to sit back, relax, and be, getting just liquid money. And in short, I'm saying they just want to sit at the banks of the river when I'm fishing, and when I do get the fish, then I give them. Now, that's kind of lazy mentality. You get what I'm saying? So the issue is this: as you help them, please try as much as you can to also support them, in the sense that you would like them to also earn something, be able to make something by themselves, so that at least when they become financially able, now you'll not be having one helper, that is you, or one supporter. You'll be having several of them, or several systems that you can take them to the next level. And there's that thing that you can actually do, so you don't go broke when you're actually doing what? You're supporting them. Have a dedicated investment plan for them. Have a what? An investment plan for their package, for their for the year package. What do I mean by this? Let's say, for example, you are entitled for, the school or schooling or the school fees of your siblings and what have you. And you know one thing, okay, I do have this money. You can even open, you see the way usually, open or sort of invest for our kids and what have you. You pick an NMMF, you invest for the sake of your kids. The way you should take I don't want to mention that. See, the way you invest, also make sure that at least you dedicate that package for that kind of a thing. You can be like, you know what? And by the way, this is being smart. I saw somebody who did that. You can be like, okay, this guy is asking me 10,000 each and every month, okay? And I do have some idle cash in my bank. So how about I take this 1,000,000 shilling, I throw it in. I'm not saying everyone has 1,000,000. I'm just saying use that what you have, okay? How about I take this 1,000,000 shilling, I throw it into an investment. Because I don't want these people to eat my money anyway, because I'm on a mission of actually creating, what do we call financial freedom along the way. So how about I take this 1,000,000 bob, I invest in a money market fund because it gives me liquid cash each and every month. I'll be getting approximately 10 to 15,000 in between. Therefore, this 1,000,000 shilling of mine, it is not idle. Guess it is making me 15,000, so I can be able to give them 10, I remain with 5. And also in the same process, guess what? I still have my money back. You get what I'm saying? So you pick an investment option dedicated wholly or solely for generation of that specific thing. So whatever you're earning from your salary, if you're employed, it is safe and secured, so you can be able to focus on yourself and you can be giving them that whatever is being generated from this investment that you have. So if you can do that, if you have capability of doing that, I am telling you, you'll be having quote unquote free money, okay? Not free money per se because you actually used your money to get that particular money, but indeed it's actually going to give you that freedom of doing whatever you find it appropriate and right before you. That is exactly what you can be able to do. So pick that investment, put your money out there, whatever is being generated, you can use it to pay the black tax. Why? Because your money is still there, and in the process, you have a plan. You'll be like, guess what? I'm gonna support these guys for the next 4 or 5 years or 2 years or even 1 year. Depends again the kind of a need that they need, and also be empowering them along the way. And by the way, this is what I love to tell people. Please be informing them. Tell them, you know what, I'm gonna pay your rent for the next 6 months. I'm gonna pay your rent for the next 1 year. But the time we clock 1 year above that, ain't gonna pay a dime. You gotta stand by yourself. So you program them. They already know at the back of their head. You know what? My sister said, my brother said, this rent gonna be paid for the next 1 year. Don't give them this sort of a notion of freedom. Like, guess what? As far as I'm here, don't worry about your rent. It's gonna be paid. Please never ever establish that comfort. By the way, that's helped me introduce the third point. And the third point is that don't open all the gates. Don't open all the gates, or should I say all the financial gates. Don't open all those gates. Creating this comfort, this sort of a free kind of an approach, like anybody can ask you anything at any time, any moment they need it. You don't even evoke that urge of them spending some cash towards empowering themselves. You're just creating this comfort kind of a atmosphere. In the moment you create that, especially, I'm telling you guys because I've seen this happening. You find somebody has a parents back in the US, somewhere working, or maybe I have my brother and the sister working. So you find this guy back at home, he's just drinking, parties, telling his friends how rich he is, and he has 2 or 3 brothers or sisters in the US and what have you. I'm telling you this because are real things. Don't try to let them ever step on those feet. Don't ever let them feel that kind of a thing. Don't ever sort of quote unquote assure that you're gonna be on their back. No, don't ever do that. Especially if they are men. You never ever do that. You're gonna bring up very lazy people, and guess what happens now? Even if you're their kids, one day will come and you're gonna have a very, very rough time, especially when you close that gates of the help that you have. Actually, these guys usually turn wild. I've ever been in a situation whereby they even call you to ask you where is the help that you usually send. They no longer feel like you're helping them. They feel like they're entitled now. It's their right and something also. So be very careful on what you do. Be careful when you're opening those gates. Even your kids, be very careful on that. Let's go to the other point, the last point. It is that understand it is hard to create wealth in reverse. Just understand is hard to create wealth in reverse, okay? In reverse. Guys, don't mind about my handwriting that much anyway, okay? But what I write, I say it, so you can always pick from my mouth, not from my board. You know, my board is just there for illustration purposes, okay? Yeah, because I saw some people come, hey, Joseph, you have a very bad handwriting. Yeah, I know. I have a terrible one. If there were a reward for handwriting, obviously, I know mine can't win, yeah. I'm at peace with that. Anyway, it is what it is. Now, what I'm saying is that you cannot be able to create wealth in reverse. And I want you to listen to this very carefully because most of the people may not get it. When I say it is hard to create wealth in reverse, I mean like it is easier for you to support, say, your siblings or younger generation, change their mindset and perception towards the wealth creation than to go back to the older generation. Maybe your parents try to maybe start them a business and do something. It's so hard. And that's why people switch to totally helping them the rest of their lives, whatever they're gonna be, if you're in a position to, rather than trying to empower them. I saw somebody who spent a lot of money. The guy is working in Germany, and he tried to support the parents back at home. The guy was brought up in an Arab country, so he was like, you know what, mom and dad, we ain't gonna be doing the normal farming that we used to do. What I'm gonna do is that let's start what we call the greenhouses and the modern kind of agribusiness. Let's not do the agriculture, for sustenance kind of a thing. Let's have it on a business perspective. Guys spend quite a lot of money. It was around 4 million or something, to drill some boreholes there, have a few structures of the greenhouses and what have you, spending a lot of money, taking those parents to, what do we call them, this agriculture officer to educate them, only the parents to squander that project. The guy had a very big vision. If these parents of mine can actually set like 2 greenhouses, I help them how to farm, say, onions, or not really onions per se, but let's say like whatever the things that actually grown in those vegetable kind of things. All right, you get what I'm saying. Now these guys can, and then I employed like 2 people, 1 person there. These guys, they can actually generate some cash out of them, but the mentality they have is still the old traditional one. Oh, that cannot happen here, that cannot work here, it cannot. So it becomes so hard, it's so hard to actually change the way they think. For example, let's say they are 60 years old. They have a 60-year-old software in their head, and you want to eradicate it, or if you want to kick it off, or you want to do what we call the OS changing within 1 month. My friend, I'm telling you, that would be the hardest thing that you can ever. It is easier for even to pick you that brother of yours who is at Form 4 or high school or maybe joining university. It is easier to actually work with them than even working with these parents because of the mentality that these people usually have, and that kind of a thing. So it becomes a little bit harder to create wealth in reverse, but going forward, it's easier to do that because there is a change of mentality, change of location, change of perception, and all those kind of things. Yeah, I really hope I tried my best to actually explain that point. It's quite a point that usually it's a bit hard for some of the people to understand, but I hope you understood that particular point, okay? Anyway, guys, guess what? That's it. That is exactly how you can even you can support your family members without you going broke. But don't forget, this is Good Joseph speaking. I usually make videos each and every day. Go ahead, make sure that you subscribe, turn that notification bell, and if you'd like to have a conversation with me, go ahead and pick that number of mine, shoot me a call, let's have a business. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.